Simcha, celebration, Simcha, Simcha, the celebration of life.
Hello, welcome to Simcha, a celebration of life. I'm your host, Nikki Wallman. The Siddur is a Jewish prayer book made up of the Psalms of King David, the blessings written by the sages, and passages from the Torah. It contains a set order of daily prayers to help us articulate and communicate with Hashem. Today, we hear from Rabbi Avraham Sutton, who says that to pray without a full heart is like a soul without a body.
One of the secrets for saying the words of the Siddur in a way that's real and not just parroting words is to study. When you say Mizmor David and you know what it means that David mizmored, he worked, he struggled with himself, and then LeDavid, something came down. He felt something change. He felt a shift. But it's not just David. King David, was a wonderful man, and he wrote these things, but he was only a channel. And so we also can become channels. King David, the concept of King David is the soul of Israel, is the soul of mankind, the yearning of the soul. It's like the moon that yearns for the light of the sun. So it's not just somebody else's words now. You see, you can move from saying Mizmor David about something that somebody said once to something that I'm saying now. Hashem, I'm calling out to you. When we say Eloheinu v'Elohei Abotenu, think about it. Really, when you're children, then we learn about God from our teachers and our parents. And they tell us stories. And that's basically the concept of the God of our ancestors. We hear stories. And then later on, when we mature, when we grow up a little bit, and I bless all of us that we can have an experience to know there really is God. He is truly the director and the author of the events of our lives. That experience usually comes later in life. That's called Eloheinu or Elohai. My God, I know you're the one who's behind all the things that have ever happened to me. I yearn and I cry out for you. But you see, why do we then say, my God first, and then the God of our ancestors? It's certainly not chronologically true. But you see, it has to be this way, because otherwise it would never be real. It has to be something that we feel, that each one of us has what I call our vertical connection, our personal connection, which can grow throughout our entire lives. And then the stories of our ancestors, all of their stories now become real to us because they struggled, they suffered, they endured, and they became great. And I've suffered, and I've endured, and I've struggled. Oh, now I can see that their lives and my life is connected. I'm a spark of their souls. So you have to do a little thinking to get to this, but it's so worth it. It's a treasure. So when we say these words, Elohai, v'Elohei Abotai, we can truly mean it. Oh my God, and God of my ancestors. And in the Song of the Sea we say, Zeh li v'anvehu, this is my God, and I will make myself into a temple for him. I will make myself into a shrine for him. Elohei avi v'aromimenu. Ah, the God of my father. I will acknowledge his exaltedness beyond anything I could know. Zeh li v'anvehu, this is my God. When we point, we know this is the one. This is the one who's the essence of my being, the one who made me, the ground of my being. And yet, he's far beyond anything we can know. It has to be both. It has to be personal, and it has to be transcendent and transpersonal. It has to go beyond anything that we know. It's locked up in very amazing things in the Siddur, where we speak to God in the second person, and then we switch into the third person, and we say, Blessed are you, Hashem, whose commandments we keep, who has sanctified us with his commandments. Well, it's a subtle change, but once you see it, it's not subtle anymore. It's there all the time. We constantly change between speaking to God directly and speaking to God, or are we? Is it speaking to God indirectly? Is it like saying, I know you're here, but I can't see you? Perhaps that's already an insight. It's the aspect of you that I don't know that I also want to address. I want to know you personally, and yet I want to acknowledge that there's much more than I can know about you. These are some of the deep ideas that have been embedded, that are the basis for a prayerful or meditative consciousness. Every single one of us is a soul. Every single one of us is precious in God's eyes. If we were to pray with a sense of our own preciousness and a sense of the preciousness of every other human being, our prayers would be different, wouldn't they? I bless us all that we can truly pray from the depths of our hearts. It is a very important time that we're living in. It's a very important time to know how close Hashem is, God, the one who is the infinite one, who's the one who made us, who's the one who's with us, the one who loves us.
2011 marks the 70th anniversary of the Nazi invasion of the Baltic states and the destruction of the Lithuanian Jews. In the first of a series of events to commemorate this anniversary, Simon Guravicius, Executive Director of the Lithuanian Jewish community, and 2 young students were invited to South Africa to talk about the Lithuanian Jewish community and how the legacy of the Holocaust impacts their lives today.
In 1941, the Nazis invaded the Baltic states. That started the Holocaust as it was in Lithuania. They managed to kill 95% of the Jewish population. Those small percentage of Jews that did manage to survive form the basis of the community that's there now. And this evening, it was an opportunity for us to meet some of those on this, what is effectively the year of the 70th anniversary of those events.
I'm now, in a sense, helping to repair the breach. I'm trying to help build communities and to connect people one to the other. The reasoning behind it is looking at ways to build bridges between the South African Jewish community, which is strongly rooted in our Litvakische traditions and heritage and history and geography, and to begin a conversation by highlighting the fact that there still is Jewish life in Lithuania today. And so we want to have a type of reciprocal relationship, whether it be student exchanges, teachers visiting each other, academic exchanges, maybe more people coming on visits to Lithuania.
I have a question to you. What do we know about Lithuania? It's present or it's past? And actually, it's much more like this. The important thing to understand that Lithuania of today is very different what we all have got in mind when we see the old pictures, when we hear our Bobas and Daidas telling about Lithuania from before. Lithuania today is a modern country, is facing big economical troubles and also big changes in the society. Just imagine, in Lithuania we just had Hanukkah last year. Almost 2,000 people participated. We had got last year Sederim, 1,900 people in 14 different Sederim. Summer camps for 600 people. This is the revival of the Jewish life which is happening in Lithuania. And by working together, we hope we can create a joint future together, which is going to be a future where we will remember Holocaust, we will never forget the past, but we will be able to build the bridges for the future. You are this, what we could be, if not Holocaust. You are the ones that are continuing our Lithuanian Jewish traditions. And we hope we will not fail you.
The Jews of Lithuania today could have been what the South African Jewish community today is. Maybe through South African influence, we can have an impact on Jewish life in Lithuania today and make it a sustainable community. A community that has got capacity, that's got strength, that's got muscle, that's got hope for the future, and that is alive and will continue to grow from strength to strength.
I think it's a wake-up call to understand that Lithuanian history isn't only history, that there is a living Jewish community, a community which is struggling to find its way into the sun, which is vibrant in many ways, and which has really a very strong connection to this one. And I hope that that will help us to understand that if we do make our trip, our roots trip to Lithuania, that we don't only go looking for what is lost and gone, but we go looking for what is left.
Jewish people in South Africa, they was very surprised that in Lithuania are still Jewish people.
I am proud that I am Jewish, because to be one of 5,000 from 3.7 million, for me, I'm very proud of it.
I hope to be in touch with South African Jewish, and I hope someday we will meet Jewish youth in Lithuania.
If people are interested in coming to Lithuania or knowing about Lithuania, I would like to encourage them to send an email, just a small email. We're living in the world of technologies, to simon@litjews.org, and I'm sure if it's possible, we will gladly answer all the questions, and we are waiting you, friends Litvach. Kommt zu Lite, kommt zu Foren, vergesst nicht uns litwische Iden und seid gesund.
Well, that's all we have time for this week. Thank you so much for joining us, and do tune in again next time. Please remember to find us on Facebook at Spirit Sister Productions Network. As always, from me, Nikki, and the entire team, shalom and have a safe and peaceful week.